Hello friends, and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, last episode we decided to get super cheaty and dove all the way through to the end of Project E. We got all of the power flowers set up, and we just have a ridiculous amount of EMC now. You can see behind me, I've actually upgraded the setup that we had before to the next to last level of power flowers, and hopefully in a few short minutes we will be able to complete all of the things in Project E, bringing this to the absolute end of that pack and unlocking the ultimate flower or star. I forget which is last in here. But aside from that, it is time for us to dive back into the tech mods that are in this pack so that we can get closer to completion. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. So as I mentioned, we are now at 95 quadrillion EMC, which is a lot, considering when I started this pack, I said I'm not going to do any EMC, any Project E. So we've had a change of heart on that a little bit. And as you can see, we've completed just about every quest in Project E now. Between episodes, I went ahead and went up the rest of these tiers using my handy dandy time pouch to get all of the rest of these unlocked. So the only thing that's left, oh, it looks like I forgot to go back and do violet fuel. So let's grab that real quick. Violet fuel. We can make that really quickly. I don't know how I missed that one. There we go. That's done. And then with that, I think we now have the last of our Melodium coins, and we can unlock the Creative World Shaper. So let's see here. How are we on Melodium coins? 64, 104? I think that should be right. 108, yes. Submit those, and now we have the Creative World Shaper. We have pretty much finished out all of Project E. Now, the only other thing we might want to do is go back and make some of the Project E tools, but having already beaten the Wither and the Gaia Guardian, I don't know why I would even bother with that, aside to do the super upgraded gem armor that is really, really rad. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll come back to it. As I mentioned before, we are going to turn our attention back to the Age of Information and try to complete this quest. Now, we have a lot left to do here. We still need to double back over here and handle all of these additional ingots. The Melodium ingot, I think was the last one we actually created. We need the Twinite ingot to do, and then we can go on to Stellarium. From Stellarium, we get back to Osmium, and Osmium gets us back into Mechanism. Now, this is a very expensive ingot, and this is what kind of tipped me over onto using EMC and using Project E to cheat, because otherwise, making Osmium through Stellarium, oof, y'all, that is unbearably expensive. I don't think I have it in me to do that because each of these ingots is just a ridiculously large amount of work. And some of them we can't even automate easily. Some of them we can't even use EMC for. Lumium, for instance, we don't have in an EMC value for, so it can't be made. So we will come back to this, but I first wanted to dive over here into the refined storage. We unlocked silicon at the last episode, which you just get from smelting our quartz crystals, so that's really easy. But now it's time to move on to the refined storage controller and all of the storage pieces here. Now, refined storage is relatively straightforward to get started with compared to applied energistics, where ordinarily we'd be traipsing all over the map looking for fallen stars so that we can get some presses, and yeah, I was never a big fan of that mod. But refined storage allows us to get started easily in this pack because we just need machine casings. So we can make ourselves up some aluminum scaffolding real quick. We can make ourselves up some diamond gears with that real quick. Let's see here. I didn't really think we would have to come back to machine casings, but apparently we do. So let's make ourselves up a diamond gear. And you know what? While we're at it, let's make ourselves up a couple because we certainly have the resources now to do that. And let's go ahead and work on building this out. So put that there. And there we go, 6 machine casings, and I will take back my last diamond gear as well. Throw this in here, and of course, if we can, it will automatically learn about that, so I guess I didn't even need to make 6, because I think it has an EMC value. It does, so we never need to think about that again. Alright, and now we should be able to make most everything here. What are we missing? Quartz enriched iron. Let's make a little bit of that. It's got an EMC value, so again, it's going to remember that. And the only thing I think we're missing now is the advanced processor, which I thought we had already taught it, but apparently not. Let's see here. While we're here, let's go ahead and make the other processor as well, the one that's made from gold, because I know that that's going to come up again as well. So there's the gold-based processor. There we go. We just throw these here into our furnace, speed it up a little bit. And we did use most of our temporal pouch value, so we have to be a little bit careful now in how we spend that moving ahead, because I used about 16 hours worth doing the power flowers. So lessons learned, you know, mistakes were made. And now with that, we should be able to make this. Yeah, we can. There is our controller. Perfect. Okay. So let's run some power off of our main power grid here, and I think I'm just going to kind of plunk my controller down right here on top of it. And so that should, yeah, it's already getting power, so we should be good to go there. Wonderful. Now, with that enabled, we can start making the other pieces of this. We are going to make ourselves a disk drive. So let's see here. We should be able to make this, yeah, because we have chests and whatnot. Great. And we should be able to attach this directly to it, but I think we are also going to start needing some cables pretty soon. So let's go ahead and make ourselves some cables. Easy enough. And while we're at it, let's teach it cables so that our network has it. Oh, 64, more than we're ever going to need. Okay, great. Run our cables off the top here, and that's going to connect up there. Okay, let's go ahead and make ourselves our crafting grid. Oh, but first we have to make a couple other things. It needs to learn how to make a grid. Great. You know, this is basically auto crafting at this point when you've already hooked up all of the EMC stuff. It's pretty much basically cheating at this point. It's almost too easy. Let's find our planks. 2 billion oak planks, that should be plenty. 1 crafting table. Okay, and now we should be able to make a crafting grid. Great, thank you. Now we need to make a pattern grid. Oh, but we didn't teach it how to make a grid. We really should do that. So here's how to make a grid. We need to teach it how to make up patterns. Let's teach that. Great. And now, of course, we can make a pattern grid with no problem. Okay, crafting grid, pattern grid. Let's see. Fluid grid, we probably should learn. There we go. And what else? And maybe a crafter. Let's go ahead and do a crafter. We're going to come back to those in a second. And then I think, let's see, a disk manipulator. What are we missing for the disk manipulator? Should be able to make that. I thought I already taught you how to make a storage housing. Should know how to do that. There we go, 1 disk manipulator. Okay, let's start wiring these things in. Let's see. We'll put the disk manipulator right next to the disk drive. And our grids we will bring up off the front here a little bit, right? So let's grab our cables back up. Do that, and then these will just go right here. Just kind of hanging out. Fluid grid. Okay, so each of these now is going to give us access to everything in our system. Wonderful. And to get access to everything in our system, we are going to have to wire this up the same way we had previously done with the storage request network. So that's going to be something that we are going to have to think about. All right, so most of these are done. The only thing I do need to go back and add is this transmission interface. And I believe we can just plunk this right onto our network. And with any luck, oh, nope, that doesn't work. We need to actually do a network interface here for it. So let's go back to applied. And we are not going to store, excuse me, refined. We're not using that one. Okay, refined. And one of these is an external storage. Yeah, so this is what we want. 1 external storage. And I believe I can just put this right on the back of that. And that should give us access to everything in there. And now I'm stuck underneath there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. This is all of our items now that are EMCable all into our network. This is absolutely beautiful and a ridiculous amount of stuff. Okay, good. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so how are we doing here? We've done all of these now. Now we just need to start moving up our storage parts. We're going to start with the 1K, work our way all the way up to the 16,384K. So easy enough. Can we actually do that over here? I think we can do that over here. So Let's see here. Where is our 1K storage disk? Let's make a 1K storage part. Oh, what's a vault component? That is an item vault that has been squished. What an irritating recipe. All right, well, we only need to make one of those to start because we can then teach the recipe to our network. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, it looks like I screwed that up. Let's add the 1K there. Let's do the vault component and let's add that. We need to make a barrel first. And it looks like we need to make all of the things for that. So planks, grab our planks here, teach it how to make oak slabs, one barrel coming in, there we go. And now with that barrel, we should be able to make a vault. There we go. And while we're at it, we're going to teach the system about vaults. And now we just need to use our smooshing machine to smoosh the vault into a vault something. One vault component. Okay. What else is the vault component used for? To make item vaults, I guess. That's it. I'm not sure why this is even in there, but okay, great. We'll certainly take it, and we will teach our crafting grid about that. Wonderful. Okay, and now we should be able to make quartz enriched iron. You don't know about that yet? It's all the rage. The kids absolutely love it. Okay, now we should be able to make this with no trouble. Okay, there we go. So there's a 1K storage part. We'll dump that back in there and it should then know about it. Let's use our 1K storage part and make a 4K storage part. There we go. And those should be, it didn't knock off that quest. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have that 1K in hand first. Here's the 1K. There we go. That finished off that quest. We'll grab the 4K. That completed that quest. All right. And now the 4K we should be able to use to make the 16K. Yeah, there's the 16K. Add that. All right. Now we use that. We make our 64K. Sorry, one more time. Let's add our 16s back in here. There we go. There's our 64K part. We're going to use that to make whatever the next big one is, a 256K part. Great. And then we drop one of those in there, and then we use that to make the 1024 part. Okay. Then we use that. This is a lot of loop in here. We're going a little loopy. And then 4096 gives us 16348. And does this go any higher than that? I think this is the maximum. Yeah, that's definitely the maximum. Okay, so some reason you've forgotten what a storage housing is again. No problem. Put that in there. 16348. Let's grab those out. Let's grab a storage housing. For some reason it can't make any of these. I don't know why. Well, whatever. It's forgetting about them. But we're going to make ourselves up, let's say, I think 8 of these, maybe 16 of these. And that'll be probably all of the storage that we should ever need. All right, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves up a bunch of these discs. Let's do 8 to start. How about that? Great. And I'm going to hold on to these storage housings because it keeps forgetting about storage housings. All right, so to the disk drive, drop in all of our disks, just like that. Do we have a separate disk drive for fluids? Let's see here. Yeah, we have different fluid disks. So maybe we make ourselves another drive. Okay, easy enough. There we go, disk drive. Okay. And now let's learn how to make our fluid storage. Let's see here. Start with the 64K. Then we use that to make the, whatever the next biggest one is, 256K. That, of course, we will use to make the 10,024. And then that we will use to make the 4096. and so forth and so on. We're just going to keep working our way up this chain. All right, and this ridiculously large number, the a million K, which is a billion fluid buckets, that is now the highest tier that we can do. So we're going to make 8 of those. Let's see here. We need the... Oh, just a regular storage housing works. Okay, so let's make a bunch more storage housings. Oh, it looks like we have some left over, so let me go ahead and grab those. Do this, and that should give us 8 of these, just like that. Again, don't know why it keeps forgetting storage housings. It should know how to make a storage housing. We're going to take our disk drive. We're going to put this right here next to the other drive. And now we should have fluids available in our network if we want. I haven't imported them, but we probably should teach you how to make lava pretty quick, because that's going to be one that we use very often. Okay. Great. So all of our fluid crafting, all of our normal crafting, all of that is now available in our network. So I think all we'll need to do here is to make a bunch more of our external storage boxes here like this, and just treat this the same way that we are currently doing our simple storage network. So let's make ourselves, I don't know, 12 of those and a whole bunch more cables, like another stack of cables, maybe 2 stacks of cables, and we should then be able to handle this. Actually, let's delete one of those there. Now you've learned that. Oh, we already taught it, cables. Okay, so with any luck, I can now go down into our basement here, pull out all of our existing simple storage network cables, and completely replace those with our new cables. So, okay, and there we go, all cabled up, and we have access to everything in our network now. That's lovely. So I think we're gonna now circle all the way back over down this way to our various fluid machines. I have been dreading this, but we have to do it. So first and foremost, let's start with the easy one, the industrial fermenter. Industrial, this is of course an immersive engineering machine. There we go. Let's see, will this tell me how to make it? Yeah. So this needs some basic ingredients that we should probably teach our system while we're at it. Fluid pipes, we already know how to make. There we go. Let's see here. What's next? Light engineering blocks. I wonder how much of this I just have laying around here in one of our boxes. The next thing we need to learn how to do is, let's see here, light engineering and redstone engineering. And you know what? While we're at it, we'll teach it heavy engineering as well. So light engineering, let's go ahead and make some of these. For that, we need some iron mechanical components. Let's teach it that recipe real quick. Good. We also need iron sheet metal. Easy enough. And now we should be able to, oh no, it doesn't look like it learned that, did it? Well, let's go ahead and try our transmutation table. There we go. Maybe we do have to do these that way. Sheet metal. Yeah, the old system automatically would learn them, but these are not automatically learning them. So that's fine. There's our light engine. Can I have that, please? Oh, that's the pattern grid. Okay, a light engineering block. There we go. I'll take that. We're going to need redstone engineering blocks. Redstone acid. Oh, I don't want to think about that. I know we're going to come back to it. Redstone engineering blocks. Great. And again, let's just go ahead and while we're doing this, let's make sure that we're teaching one of these each to our system because we know we're going to need that. Okay. And now let's do heavy engineering blocks. Let's see here. Heavy engineering blocks. There's that. I spent a decent amount of time trying to put my new immersive engineering machine into a compact machine, which, as you all probably know, is a lovely little mod that lets you create a pocket dimension of various sizes, and you can stick whatever you want inside and get items in and out. Now, I couldn't get items in or out. out. I have no idea what the deal was or what the problem was, so I tried it a billion different ways, and I'm just going to delete all that footage out because it's pretty much useless at this point. I even tried using a cheated-in world chunk loader into that environment, and that also still didn't work. I couldn't get it to consistently actually do the machine's processing there. Now, the benefit would have been that we can take a very large immersive engineering machine and put it into a 1x1x1 cube and have it do all of the work in a very, very small space. That, of course, is very attractive to us because machines are big, and big machines are harder to automate and build into our network. So instead, we're going to do something completely different. Now, Mawu had teased me previously saying, I bet you're never going to do over your entire immersive engineering setup. Well, guess what? I deleted all of my immersive engineering setup, and because we're going to need a lot more of these machines, I am going to go ahead and build ourselves a little factory space to hold them. Because, of course, this is enterprise architecture, and that's what we do, is we do enterprise architecture. So I'm going to actually pull out our world shaper that we got because we finished the Project E quest, and we're going to use this to start laying out a nice little factory. Now, the world shaper is wonderful because you can program it to do basically whatever you want, including building and replacing factory blocks. So I'm going to start by using some brass casings here to lay a floor area for our factory here. I've just got this world shaper set to a 1x1. You can actually change how it's laying things out to a variety of different options, but this is the easiest way for me right now because we just want to replace this floor here. So let's go ahead and start laying out our factory floor a bit. Yeah, we're just going to give it a nice brass flooring here, something like that. We probably need to make it much bigger though, because this is going to be a non-trivial sized factory. There we go. And of course, we probably are going to tie this into our network for our refined storage as well. I keep trying to say it's going to be AE. We are not using AE in this pack. I'm going to keep making that mistake. So we're going to probably tie it into refined storage, and that means we need lots of extra space for cabling. So we're going to do something like this, I think. And then this area where we're doing our power generation, I'll probably wrap this in something as well. But this will be the general factory layout. Now, I also need to leave myself plenty of space for my Pneumaticraft stuff. This whole system is going to come down, and we're going to have to build out a new Pneumaticraft setup. So we're going to put that over there. But this factory, I think, is going to get laid out right here. So I think what we want to now use is scaffolding. So let's grab our steel and our aluminum, and while we're at it, let's grab some more andesite casings. Yeah, I think these are going to be all the building blocks that we're potentially going to use here. All right, there's our factory floor, and now we are going to want to be able to place down our walls of this structure. So let's go ahead and modify this. We are going to want to do 3 long, not 3 wide. And yeah, I think this will, yeah, there we go. There's our nice walls. Let's see here. What do we want to do for walls? Maybe we do some steel scaffolding walls. That could be interesting. And then fill them in with andesite casing between. Yeah, this could be a nice looking little factory. And now let's place those pillars. Let's tell it that we're going to do 6 high, but they're going to be 1 wide. There we go. Nice skinny pillars, and we are going to use andesite for those. Well, it looks like we don't have the projector in this mod. So for whatever reason, we are going to have to build all of these from scratch over again. You all have already seen me lay these out, so I'm just going to plunk these down real fast into this space and expand the space as needed to fit them all in. So here is our completed immersive engineering factory building. So I went ahead and replaced all of the wall pieces with lead sheet metal. I think that looks a little bit better, although the roof is black sheet metal slabs. So just a little bit of contrast there. You can't really see too well, but I think it looks nice. Inside, we have all of our machines laid out. I've got 4 metal presses for us, 1 each for plates, wires, rods, and gears. It is awfully dark in here, so I might actually have to add some more glowstone than just the lanterns I put around. And then on the other side, I have crushers, I have our industrial squeezer, and I have our industrial fermenter, all set up. So we have a nice little factory space with plenty of room for expansion. Now, the main reason that we needed our industrial fermenter here is, of course, because we were making ethanol. So we're going to drop a whole bunch of honey, in the wrong barrel, and then we're going to put it into the right barrel. There we go. So this is going to slowly draw in that. And there we go. It's already going to be making ethanol for us right here. Wonderful. And we should very, very quickly have a whole lot of ethanol for us to start working with. All right, let's see how we're doing here. All right. So this ethanol we can use for a variety of things, namely the Pneumaticraft fluid mixture. We combine it with vegetable oil to make biodiesel. I think that's the main thing that we are going to be doing with that. So our biodiesel we can then use for a variety of things. Again, separating that down into lubricant or into molten plastic if we use charcoal with it. So the molten plastic is what we really need to make those plastic sheets. Now, the other way that we can make molten plastic is with LPG. Now, LPG we generally do from a refinery, which might also be worth setting up. It's not going to be as quick and efficient to make the plastic, but we can make a multi-tier one. And I figure while we're here, we may as well make a full-on refinery if we can, because I think that'll really help us out in the future. Okay, so it looks like we can't actually get molten plastic through crude oil yet, because we don't have access to crude oil. We have to buy it from the Amadron Tablet, which is really annoying, but I understand why. I don't love it. So to do this instead, we are gonna have to use biodiesel. And of course, to make biodiesel, the second ingredient is gonna be plant oil or seed oil. So vegetable oil, seed oil, plant oil, any variety thereof. Those are easy enough for us to come by. And we do have a decent amount of plants and seeds. Let me grab 2 stacks of wheat seeds up out of here. And we'll bring this over to the squeezer and pull out the seed oil we get as a result. So that should go in here. So to make the various machines that we're going to need here, first of all, we're going to need a fluid mixer. That's the first machine that's on our list because this is how we actually make the biodiesel. So this needs a turbine rotor and that needs turbine blades. We can only make those in a pressure chamber with gold and redstone, which doesn't seem like what you would want to make your turbine rotors out of, but whatever. It's a game. We are going to go along with it. So we are now going to try and bump up our air compressor here. A whole bunch. Oh, I really should be more careful with this. I only have 4 hours left in my temporal pouch, but this should get this compressor all up and going. There we go. Now we are very quickly getting all of our rotor blades back out, or we should be. There we go. Turbine blades slowly coming in there. Oh, and I had made lightning charges earlier. I'd forgotten about that. Okay, there's 32 turbine blades. What else do we need for this? Fluid tanks. Okay, that should be easy. We need 3 of those. Maybe we teach iron bars to our tablet as well. Let's drop these in here. Okay, 1 more fluid tank. There we go. Fluid tanks are in. And is that everything we need? Oh, right. We didn't actually put the rotor together. Let's do that. And there is our fluid mixer. Great. Okay, so we have this now. Thankfully, I don't think most of these machines run on power. They only run on pressure, which is good news for us. Bad news for my logistics because I'm really, really struggling here. That's also clearly not how that goes. Let me try this. I hope that'll work. We'll figure it out. All right, and then the fluid mixer we'll put on there. Okay, great. And now this just needs to have fluids put into it and then have the output fluid pumped out. I don't really remember how to do that, but I assume it's going to be pretty straightforward. I think we can't just stick it on there. I think we actually have to use pipes probably. Yeah, there we go. So we'll put these on those sides and we'll put 1 more on the front here, and that'll be our output tank just like that. And then we just need to grab our wrenches here. So we'll insert from here. And with any luck, that's filling up. And then we will grab out of our output on the front like that whenever it does its thing. Now let's just turn this on real quick. We're just turning that up a little. We're not turning up a whole lot. All right, that's giving us glycerol. Oh, and there is our biodiesel. Wonderful. So the next thing we're going to need is our thermopneumatic processing plant. So for that, we are going to need to make ourselves up a bunch more of our reinforced slabs here. I know we have reinforced bricks somewhere. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's grab those. There's our slabs. Why not? Let's make extras. And then we just need to make ourselves a couple of these fluid tanks, 1, 2 of those. And there is our processing plant. Come on, where'd the slabs go? You literally just had them. Oh, because this is reinforced stone versus reinforced brick. How do we make reinforced stone? Oh, well, we can make that easily. That's not a problem. Okay, let's make more of those slabs. There we go. Okay, and now we can make the plant. Perfect. Okay, so we'll take this back over and plug this into our system. And I think we could just put it, you know, like right just down the way here. So maybe we make ourselves a few more pipes. These are just pressure tubes, right? Regular pressure tubes. Okay. There we go. A few more of those. We just come down this way with it. Oh, no, stop. Need you to stop doing that thing. There, perfect. Okay. So now we're getting pressure into our processing plant. And then we should be able to use our biodiesel in that. Let's see here. What do we result in? Right, we need charcoal to make molten plastic. Okay, do we have charcoal? Charcoal, yeah, we have charcoal. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a stack of charcoal. And we will put that in here. And then we can start taking our biodiesel and putting it into this. So maybe the thing to do is instead to run our pipes over into this directly. So give me that back. Okay. We're going to do this and we're going to disconnect it. And then we'll put our pipe down there and then our pipe here. Sorry, our tank down there. Okay. And then that should drain into here. There's our biodiesel. And let's see here. Yes, thermal lagging. That's what we need to make. Thermal lagging is really easily made, but I don't know if we have wool in here yet. Yeah, we don't have wool in there yet. So let's go back to our base, our main area here, I should say. And we need to teach this about string, and we need to teach it about wool. So let's drop a piece of string in here. And then let's go back over to our crafting grid. We will use this to make wool. There we go. We can teach it about wool real quick. Great, now you know about wool and string. And from that, we should be able to make thermal lagging. We can then take this all the way back over here and wrap our thermoelectric whatsamajig in it. Let's do this. And like that, and okay, that should be nice and thermally lagged now. Okay, doesn't look like it's heating up very fast, but that's okay. Requires or produces heat. Place a block that generates heat next to it. Okay, that's easy enough, right? We have all sorts of things that generate heat. A magma block, I think, generates heat, right? That should be a whole thing. So maybe we pull off this bit of thermal lagging and we put a magma block next to it. How about that? Yeah, that did the trick. That might have done too good of a trick, but it seems to be producing plastic very, very rapidly. All right, so we are full up on plastic, so let's go ahead and remove the magma block. Now what we need to do here, did we teach this buckets yet? Yeah, we taught it buckets. Okay, we need to go ahead and manufacture plastic from this. So I guess we can just dump it in the world and that'll let it do its thing. Yeah, that works. That works very effectively. Okay. So let's go ahead and just make ourselves a bunch of plastic the old-fashioned way. All right, so I made a nice little upgrade to the system here where I have a switch on a sticky piston so the magma block can be moved in and out from the thermopneumatic processing plant with no trouble, and then we can of course make molten plastic to our heart's content as it becomes available. So now we have a whole bunch of plastic sheets, almost a full stack, but not quite, pretty darn close though. And that unlocks a whole bunch of new machines that we can now create, and all of these plastic construction blocks that have no similarity to any sort of building blocks that are commercially available today. So that means we are well on our way to making an Amadron Tablet. So let's go ahead and drop all of our plastic into our storage network along with this glycerol, which really doesn't have any practical use. We are then going to take our Amadron Tablet here. Let's see, GPS tool we need to make first. That's gonna be easy enough. We just need to make a redstone torch, and you know what we are gonna do? Yeah, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna teach that to the system. So let's go ahead and make that again. Perfect, there's our GPS tool. Then the next thing we need to do is make an air canister. That's gonna be easy enough as well. I don't think we're going to be making enough air canisters that we need to teach this recipe to it. And then last but not least, we have an Amadron Tablet. Wonderful. Okay, so right-click an inventory to allow it to provide items to vendors. Right-click a tank to allow it to provide fluid to vendors. Okay, so we are going to need to make a single chest that is just going to be for the Amadron Tablet. So let me grab one chest here, and this is going to be our input and output chest. And we're gonna put it back here next to the sawmill so that we know that it's dangerous. All right, there we go. So it knows now to use this chest. Okay, so the Amadron Tablet does need pressure. Let's go ahead and throw it down in this thing. There we go. That's gonna charge up real quick here. Okay, 4 bars of pressure. That's about all we are gonna do in that Amadron Tablet. Now, thankfully in the past, we had already generated emeralds because we got lucky on that emerald block. So we actually get to skip the whole step where we have to go and do the Philosopher's Stone to make it, or potentially sell stuff to make it. This is an irritating way of getting it. We do need to, however, make, I think, a tank for the Amadron Tablet to deposit fluids in. I wonder if you can just deposit fluids in a regular tank. Let's find out. We'll put this tank right here next to it. Yeah, it'll let us do that. Okay, so Amadron Tablet, we want to buy crude oil. Okay, maybe I need to put the emeralds in here and then do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so crude oil, 1 bucket of crude oil for 1 emerald. Okay, so let me do this. How many of these do we want to do? 20 if it'll, oh, you know what? It's not going to let us do 20 because I can't fit 20 in that tank. So let me place order. And very soon, oh, there's our drone. Drone just came and left. Okay, that is, there's a fluid tank full of air. That is, there we go. Okay, so 1 comes to pick up our items and 1 comes to bring it back. So to refine our crude oil, we now need to go ahead and set up this sort of a system. This is a refinery controller with a refinery output on top. And we need 4 refinery outputs on top for each of the 4 ingredients that are going to be made out of it. This is actually a kind of neat little mechanism that they have in here. I really actually like this a lot, where the height of the tank determines exactly what you get back. That's super cool to me. So let's go ahead and, oh, we need to make a bunch of more reinforced stone. Oh, you know what? Let's, yeah, you know what we're gonna do. Okay, now we can make as much reinforced stone as we would like, and that means we can now make a bunch of refinery outputs, because now we can make a bunch more reinforced slabs. Let's just go ahead and make a bunch there. And let's see, we haven't made even a single one of these yet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. And this is gonna make us a nice tower of refining. All right, so we are ready to put our refinery controller in place, just like this. Oh, does that not, that doesn't take pressure? No, apparently this takes heat, much like our other setup that we have here. Okay, so we're gonna have to basically copy this whole magma block setup that we have. But first things first, let's go ahead and put our outputs on top, just like that. There we go. There's our nice stack and tower. And now we just need to provide a heat source for this. So let's do exactly what we had done before. Right, there is our piston. Let's go ahead and do this. And now we should be able to heat this up. Great, there's the refinery controller being heated. We need a way of getting the fluid into it. So I'm gonna put the fluid tank here and use our fluid pipes to pull in from there, and then we will bring in our crude oil. Great. Our Amadron tablet we can also then retarget here. And yeah, looks like this is already taking crude oil in. It's got heat, but it's not up to the next level yet. It needs to be over 100 degrees. I wonder why that's not getting hot enough yet. All right, so this is not heating up very quickly. So I've made a whole bunch more thermal lagging that we can then coat this with. So let's go ahead and wrap the sides of this. And then we're gonna go all the way up the front, but we do want to do every other one here, not all of them. And then the opposite on the other side. So here, let's see here, the bottom does not get one, we get one there, and on the top as well. Perfect. And now this will give us just enough room to be able to route our fluid pipes out of here. Nope, not like that. Great. And now we should be able to take all of our new tanks that I just made and put these on it as well to collect all of those fluids. We can just go like straight off from the side if we want. I think that's the way to do it. And we'll do the same thing here, and we'll do the same thing here. And let's see here. Yeah, this is slowly getting fluids in. So let's go ahead and take these out a little at a time. There we go. Okay, so crude oil is slowly being processed here. The heat is staying around 100 degrees from that magma block. Now, a vortex tube would be massively more effective here because it would be generating heat at a much rapider rate, but then we'd have to build a whole bunch of heat sinks to deal with the cooling that has to happen. So for now, we're just gonna live with a magma block and a whole lot of the flocking on the outside. I think, excuse me, lagging, not flocking. And that'll work very well for us to make our 4 primary ingredients, our LPG, kerosene, gasoline, and diesel. So that is now ready to go. Well, friends, we have a bunch more Pneumaticraft still left to do and a whole bunch of other mods that we need to tap into. But that's going to have to wait for the next episode. For now, we're going to call that the end of this episode. So thanks again for watching Enterprise Architecture. If you like what we're doing here, please do put a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. Any sort of interaction is wonderful and good. I love to hear from y'all if at all possible. And otherwise, we will see you back here next time. Bye, friends.